Hello, my name is Aviva, and today I wanted to share with you all of the books that I will hopefully read in the month of March. So if you saw my last video, then you might be aware that I'm in somewhat of a reading slump, but I am on a mission to get out of it. And the way that I'm going to get out of it is by picking up some really good books that want to get me back into reading. So I made a really fun TBR that I'm really excited to read all of the books that I'm about to share with you. I just have to get myself to actually pick them up. So I'm going to share them with you. We're going to get excited for them. And then hopefully throughout the month of March, I will slowly pick them up and get myself back into reading. So first up, I have The Rebel by Sophie Lark. This is the second book in the Kingmaker series. I read the first book in this series this past month, like a week or so ago, and I really liked it, but I didn't love the tropes that were in the book. But I'm not here to talk about the first book. We'll talk about that in my February wrap-up that's coming up on Wednesday, I think. We'll see. Anyway, this book is about Miles and Zoe, and it's like I can't have her. She's supposed to be somebody else's, but I really have to have her sort of thing. And I feel like that sounds like a really fun time. Plus, the setting of this book is absolutely amazing. It's like a Hogwarts, but without the magic, and add in the mafia, and like all these kids are just like really cool, really crazy, and it's a fun time. So hopefully I will pick this book up and continue on with the series. Next, I'm on a mission to start the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling. So this is the first book, Lessons in Corruption, and there are currently, I believe, 6 books out in the series. I own all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 books. And I think this is the 3rd time I'm putting this on my TBR, and it's only the 3rd month in the year, which means that I really got to make it a mission to start it this month. Not that I'm like, putting it on myself like, oh, I should read all 6 books this month. No, I want to just start with the first book and see how it goes. But hopefully I'll like it enough because I already own the rest of the series. But my point is that this is a motorcycle club companion series. I'm pretty sure all of the books are somewhat of an age gap, and that's about all that I know about it. I have heard that the first couple of books aren't as good as the second couple of books. Like I'm pretty sure the 4th book in the series is like the one you want to get to, but you got to read the first 3 to get there, sort of thing. So that's kind of why I keep pushing this series off, because I don't want to pick up a book and then be about it, and then I'm gonna have to push myself to read the rest of the series. But I feel like that's what a lot of people do. I've seen so many people say I read the first book and it was so I continued, and then it was still and then I continued and it started getting better and better. So I just have to pick it up and go through that process because I'm really down for it. It sounds really good. I am just a little bit nervous to pick it up, but hopefully this month it will happen. Then I really have to continue on with the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. So this is the 3rd book. It's Wrecked. And in this book, we're following Elena and Jax, and we had met them in the 2nd book. And I had read the 1st and 2nd book, 6, 7 months ago. I started the series in, I think, the summer, and then I just stopped it because I noticed that the books were slightly repetitive. So I had to kind of break them apart so that it didn't feel as repetitive. And then I ended up taking way too long of a sabbatical on this series, and it's time for me to get back into it. I also recently read another book by Lauren Asher, The Fine Print, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm down to continue on with her work now. I gotta get myself back into the Formula One race car driver sort of romance and actually pick this one up. So that's what this series is, by the way. It's Formula One race car drivers. They're all companion series. All of the characters kind of know each other, and they overlap a little bit, but you technically could read them as standalones. I really did enjoy the first 2 books, and I have heard that the 3rd and the 4th book are way better than the 1st and 2nd. So I don't know what I'm waiting for on this one. Then I really should also pick up the Like Us series by Kristen Becker-Ritchie. So in February, I did read the Whatever It Takes duet by Kristen Becker-Ritchie, which was the add-on to the Addicted/Calloway Sister series, which I had read all throughout November and December, and I vlogged all of it for you and everything. And anyway, the Like Us series is actually a spin-off to the Addicted series, and you're following the children of the people that we had met in the original series. And I absolutely love all of the kids that we got to meet later on in the series when they were still babies, and now they're grown up and they're gonna fall in love with all of their bodyguards, and I am all here for it. I just have to pick it up. Then hopefully I will also pick up Scarred by Emily McIntyre, which is the 2nd book in her Never After companion series. The first book was Hooked, and it was a Peter Pan retelling, it was a dark and twisted version of it. And this book is following a different type of character. I think it's Mufasa, but honestly, I don't really know what this story is about. I read the back of the book and then I was like, I can't even tell you really what I just read. And I have heard a couple people say that it was a really good book, but again, I didn't really get a clear, synopsis of what it is. So I'm kind of going into it blind, but I did really enjoy Hooked by her. And it was the first book in the series. So I have a feeling I'm really going to like it. I just wish that I actually knew what the storyline was. What is this a retelling of? What romance happened with Mufasa? He was a villain, but I mean, whatever. I don't know. We'll see about this one, but I mean, I've heard good things, so hopefully I'll enjoy it. Next, I have Sweet Dandelion by Michaela Schmelzer. So I had put this on my February TBR. I was thinking about bringing this with me on vacation, and I ended up not, and then I never ended up getting to it. So hopefully I'll get to it this month. I'm still really excited to read it. I absolutely love the cover of it, and I just I keep staring at it, but because it's so thick, I keep stopping myself from actually picking it up. But it's an age gap romance between this girl that was in a high school shooting and then her guidance counselor. And I think he's 29 and she's obviously in high school, so it's a bit of an age gap, but I mean, I'm down for it. I just have to read it. It is a little bit more serious, obviously, because of the topics, that it's dealing with, but I'm down for it. So hopefully I'll pick it up and enjoy it. Then I'd also like to read Be Still My Heart by Emily McIntyre and Sav R. Miller. So this is a small town murder mystery with a romance. I don't really know much more about it other than that, but I'm down to read it. I've heard good things. I bought it off of one person's review, and then 3 more people told me oh yeah, it's a really good book. So I'm down for it. I just have to pick it up. So hopefully the small town murder mystery vibe will hit me this month, and then I'll have a book to read for that mood. And then I also have Mr. Moneybags by V. Keeland and Penelope Ward, which I had bought a while ago. I was in a V. Keeland, Penelope Ward mood a couple of months ago, and I was trying to read all of their backlog because I was really enjoying their work. And then once I read too much of their work, it started to feel super repetitive. So I'm I gotta stop because all the books are getting less and less ratings for me, but they're all kind of the same. So it just means that it's me who is not enjoying the repetitiveness of all of their sort of books. So I stopped for a while, but I have one more book sitting in my library that I still haven't read by them that I had planned to read. So I've decided that I took enough of a break. It's time to jump back into their work. And happens to be, I saved a really good book to read for last, because this is one of those books where it's they're going to end up talking online and knowing each other in person. And the girl isn't going to realize that the guy is talking to her twice sort of thing. So she's falling for 2 guys, but it's really one guy sort of thing. And it happens to be, I had just read a book like that. I just read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. It was just a small thing that happened in the book for a time, but I was just all here for it. And it kind of got me into the mood of reading this one because it's got that similar vibe going on. Sometimes that sort of thing gives me anxiety because I'm oh my God, it's going to blow up in their face. We know there's going to be a blow up, and then I get anxious for it. But I really enjoyed reading it the other day when I read it in the other book. So I'm it's time, do it before the mood passes, And then the last books I'm going to share with you is the entire series by The Trials of Apollo. So I have book 1 in my hand, and then the rest of them are all right here. So happens to be my father just got me the first 3 books in this series. He bought it for me off of my Amazon wishlist. Thank you to my dad for getting them to me. I am very excited to start them. And happens to be, I randomly had book 4 and 5 already in the series, sitting on my shelf for a year. So now that I have the entire series, I am ready to get started on it. I plan to read this through audio and then physical. I'm going to jump back and forth because I really like the narrators for Rick Riordan. I had read all the other books in Rick Riordan's world, through audio, and I really loved it. I read the middle grade series, and then I read The Heroes of Olympus, and now I'm ready to start on this series. So now that I own the entire series, I will hopefully get started on it really, really soon. I don't know much about this series. I think we're just following Apollo. I mean, it would be really stupid for me not to think that we're following Apollo because it's The Trials of Apollo. But besides that, I don't really know anything about this series. So we will see how it goes. But anyway, that is that. Those are all the books that hopefully I will read in the month of March. We'll see what happens. But let me know down in the comment section what books you are hoping to read in the month of March. Do you have anything really exciting planned? But anyway, that's that. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. And anyway, thank you so much for watching, for clicking on my video, and until next time, enjoy reading.